Hey guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment. In this video, I'm going to be giving you step-by-step instructions on removing this 48-inch deck and changing the blades and then reinstalling the deck on this 2020 John Deere X380. So let's get started. Before we get started, let's talk about a few of the tools and things you're going to want to have around for this job. First of all, we talked about we are going to be changing the blades, and this is a 48-inch deck, so we are going to have those 3 blades. So make sure to have those. You can get those from any of your local dealerships, or I'll put a link in the description below, guys, where you can get those directly from me. Next thing, guys, go ahead and break out that operator manual, as you will see step-by-step instructions in there to see exactly what you're going to get yourself into. Next here we have this torque wrench with 18mm socket. Guys, the torque wrench is very important here as we want to make sure to get those blades torqued down to spec. Next here I have this wood block. This is going to help with keeping those blades from turning while you're changing them. Then we have our 3/8 ratchet here. This is going to help you in 2 different places. First of all, it's going to help you relieve tension on those belts. That way you can get those loose on the deck to get that deck out from underneath. Next here we have an 18mm socket. I would use this to start when breaking those blades loose, and then when you're going back on, use that torque wrench. Then also, guys, go ahead and get you a pair of needle nose pliers. You have a few pins you're gonna have to pull. So let's go ahead and get underneath the tractor and get started. All right, so before we actually get underneath and start messing with things on the deck and underneath the tractor, there's a few things you need to do around the outside before you get started. First thing, guys, we're gonna change our position of all of our gauge wheels. They do have a position where you can turn them, raise those up, and you'll find that hole there that are going to keep them sideways here. That way whenever you're removing that deck, it'll allow you to slide it right out. Also, what this is going to do is put these in the correct position whenever you've got it in the uninstall mode. So go ahead and get those moved. You're going to want to do that on all 4, so I'm going to go ahead and swing around here and do them on the other side. And over here, last one. All right, so we've got those locked into place. Now, next thing you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and put your mower deck height all the way down to 1. And then once you do that, we're gonna go ahead and lower the deck down. So push in, lower it down. Now, once you're sitting on the ground, very important step here is this is what's gonna relieve pressure off of those raise and lower linkages, is you're gonna wanna pull this pedal back. Once you get it pulled back, you're going to hear it click there into place, then lock that in place with it pulled back. Now, this is only going to be on mechanical lift models, which your 380 should be, but if you have a electric raise and lower for some reason, this is not going to be the step. So this is for the mechanical lift. So now from here, guys, let's go ahead and jump underneath and start taking things loose. All right, guys, so we've moved over here to the right-hand side or to the discharge side. This is where we're going to start. As first thing we're going to have to do is remove this belt from the drive pulley there. What you're going to do is you're going to take your 3/8 ratchet, put it in here, in this notch. This is what controls that tension idler. Make sure you got your ratchet going the right way. Then, once you have that in the notch, you're going to push that forward. It's going to relieve the tension off of that belt. And you can simply reach up, take that off of the drive pulley. Now your belt is relieved and you can start taking loose your deck from the hangers. Now, where that's going to be is right back here. So what you have here is you have these what are called J pins. Now what they do is they're locked into your lift linkage here. So to take those loose, now remember, before you've relieved all that tension by changing your deck height, changing your anti-scalping wheels, and then pulling back on that raise and lower pedal. So all your tension should be gone. Just pull those pins out and then raise it up your arms and get them out of the way. And then you'll repeat that same process on the other side, which we'll move over there and show you that now. On the left-hand side of the mower, like I said, same thing. We've got this J pin here. We're going to pull that out. Get that arm up and out of the way. And now that it's out of the way, our next step is going to be removing the front hanger. which I'll move around to the front and show you that now. So removing this front hanger, guys, very simple procedure. You're simply just gonna take your pliers here, pull loose these pins, have one on each side here. Just like that. And then next, you're gonna take these rods and just push them in, and then slide your hanger rod out of the front of the deck there. Now guys, from there, that's just about everything you should have to do to get the deck loose. So next we'll go around to the side here and start sliding it out. Now, before you start sliding this deck out, one other thing you want to do is you want to get those lift linkages up out of your way. So what you're going to do here is pull back on your pedal, release your lock, and let this go forward. And that should raise your arms up and out of the way, which it did. So now next thing we're gonna do is slide this deck out. Now, it won't be perfect. You're gonna have to do a little maneuvering, but it should come out fairly easy here. May have to turn that wheel just a little bit, get your tire out of the way, just like that. You can continue to work it out. And then just like that, guys, you've got it out and you're ready to go ahead and go change those blades. So before changing these blades, one thing you definitely want to do is get your deck positioned somewhere where it is sturdy. I've got it here leaned up against the table and then put here on the mat where it is not moving. So just make sure that's sturdy. You don't want that falling on you while you're performing this job. Next thing, guys, is we do want to get our blades here taken off. So what we're going to do is we're going to position our block here in a spot that is going to allow that blade to not slip while we're taking this loose. Find you a good spot there, as I wasn't in a very good spot to get any force on it. All right, so get that broken loose. And once that comes loose there, then you can just take this out by hand. Now, when you get this bolt taken out, make sure to keep your washer on it. That way it stays with your bolt, and that way you make sure you get it put back on the right way. Go ahead and take this blade off. Go on with your new one. Now, we want to make sure that our cutting edge is facing towards the top of the deck, or making sure that the outside is your concave side or your bottom side. So go ahead and put that on. Start your bolt back on by hand. And then once you get that on there good and tight, go ahead and get that torque wrench out. Now, guys, this is where we talked about, getting these blades torqued down to spec. Well, in the operator manual here, these blades are supposed to be torqued at 50 foot-pounds. So that's what I have the ratchet set here at. Once again, get that block in there good to keep these things sturdy. Just start rotating it down. Waiting to hear that click of the torque wrench here breaking over. And right there it was. Now, guys, that's as simple as it is. So we're going to speed this up, and I'm going to do the other two. It's just the exact same process. All right, guys, so that's all there is to the blade change. And now we'll just go back on with reinstalling the deck. Main thing we're gonna be doing here, guys, is getting our hangers lined up with these brackets here. So just start working it back underneath. Remember, you're gonna have to do a little wiggling, a little adjusting. It's not a perfect science. Move those tires out of the way if need be. There we go. Now, once we can see underneath here that we've got our hanger just about lined up with our bracket, then we can move up to the top and relieve those hangers so we can get them down into place. Now, one other important thing, while you're underneath here, make sure your drive belt has stayed here in the pulley, way back here, as that's gonna make your life a whole lot easier when you go to reinstall this belt to the front. We'll go up top here and we will set these back down. Put this all the way back here in this position. Lock it in. Pull our pin here. Not quite. Now you may have to adjust a little bit, guys. Looks like we're gonna have to go forward a touch here to get these lined back up. Oh, almost. Once again, guys, not a perfect science. You're gonna have to do some adjusting. Pretty close there. There we go. All right, there's the first side. Let's go ahead and move to the next. Okay, guys, so over here on the right-hand side of the mower, like I said, same procedure. We're gonna be getting this hanger into this J-pin here. So pull back on that. Get that lined up as good as possible here. Let's see where we're at. Should be pretty close right there. There we go. That started. Now let's just get it straight. All right, we're locked in there. Now next step here is going to be going back on with our drive belt. Now remember, this is a place where you are going to need that 3/8 ratchet to go on to our idler, tension idler here. So go ahead and get that put on right there. And then you can go ahead and start pushing forward, getting that tension relieved. All right, we've got that put back on. Make sure it's tight, make sure we're where we need to be there. Everything looks good. All right, so last step, guys, let's go ahead and put back on that front hanger. Putting back on the front hanger, guys, just as easy as it was taking it off. So we're gonna get it started here. Once you get it in there, we'll go back on here. Remember, squeeze these together. Get them lined up there in your holes. We'll go back on here with our spring pins. That's all there is to it. So a few final steps just to end this video. First off, guys, make sure we go back and readjust our wheels here. First thing you want to do before that, though, is go ahead and raise your deck back up. We're going to pull back, relieve that tension, and then go forward as if we were raising the deck. Just go ahead and lock that all the way up position. Now that, as long as it does that, goes and comes up, you know that you've got everything back right there on your hangers. And then just go ahead and adjust your wheels back up here to whatever spot you want them in, wherever you had them before. Just make sure and do that on all four sides. That is completely the whole process, taking the deck off, changing those blades out, and reinstalling that deck. Now I know that, you know, for a lot of people this seems like a very daunting task, but as you saw there, with a couple of tools, a little elbow grease, it's not that hard of a job. With these step-by-step instructions, I hope now you feel confident that you could go out and perform this job on your mower. So guys, I hope this video was everything you wanted to see. If I left anything out or you have any comments or suggestions, make sure to leave those in the comments section below. Also guys, we talked about the blades here, some of the tools. I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can go to get those blades. Also guys, if you have any questions that you don't want to post in the comments, make sure you email me at brent@west-equip.com. and I'll make sure to do my best to get those answered for you. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.